Hello children, I am sure you must have gone through the concepts which were briefly explained to you in the first part, where we have covered what a second degree non-homogeneous general equation looks like and what are the conditions it will satisfy so that it becomes an equation of a circle, is it not? And you had some various concepts related to circles. Now let us move forward and today try to understand what is the condition for a line to be a tangent, and then we will go further for a chord of contact and other conditions. Now let me just give you a brief idea. Condition for a tangent. Condition for a tangent. Now listen here, if there is a circle and you have a line here and this is a center, if I call P as the perpendicular distance, if I call R as the radius, can you see the radius is less than the perpendicular distance. So radius is less than the perpendicular distance. Then what is line? You will say if radius is less than the perpendicular distance, line will not touch or cut the circle. Now what happens if this line is coming above? Right? This is what it is. Right. Now here, this is the perpendicular distance from the center, and what is this? This is the radius. Now if radius is equal to perpendicular distance, if radius is equal to perpendicular distance, what will you write? Line is a tangent. Alright. And in the next scenario, if this is a circle and the line cuts like this, so what is happening here? This is the radius and this is the perpendicular distance. You can say radius is more, it's hypotenuse, no? It is more. So if radius is more than the perpendicular distance, then you will say line becomes secant, right? Line becomes secant. So if radius is greater than the perpendicular distance, line becomes secant, and if radius is equal to perpendicular distance, line is called as tangent. Line is called as tangent. And children, you know what is this point called as? This point is called as point of contact. And we already know if S is equal to 0 is the equation of circle, then the equation of tangent is S1 is equal to 0, right? So you already had been given that instruction. So this is what is a concept, and most important, the questions will be based on this concept. That the concept is if the radius is equal to perpendicular distance, then the line will become a tangent. This is also called as condition for tangency. So I know it is pretty simple. You may pause the video and copy down, and now we will go for the new concept called as chord of contact. Chord of contact. So what do you mean by chord of contact? Let me explain to you. See, chord of contact. From a point P, right? Now that point has to be an external point. So from a point P, which is an external point, if two tangents are drawn from a point P, right? You may pause the video and note down the definitions also, right? From a point P, if two tangents are drawn to the circle, then the line joining points of contact, is called chord of contact. So you understand, it is not just simple chord, it is a chord joining two points of contact of a circle, and that is called as chord of contact. Now the question here is, if P is x1 y1 given to you and the equation of circle is S is equal to 0, then the equation of chord of contact is S1 is equal to 0. Now you may wonder, what is this S1 is equal to 0? Just now I told it is a equation of tangent. Now you are telling it is a equation of chord of contact. In another few minutes I am going to tell you that S1 is equal to 0 is the equation of polar. What is this, sir? What is this S1 is equal to 0? See, please try to understand. S1 is equal to 0 is just nothing but a notification or a notation. It depends from where the point is. If the point is outside, then when you find S1 is equal to 0, you will get a chord of contact. If the point is on the circle and you apply S1 is equal to 0, what you will get? You will get equation of tangent. Alright. And if the point is inside and you will get some line outside, that is the equation of polar. So what is S1 is equal to 0? S1 is equal to 0 is just a notation. Or you can take it this way. that your mother prepares a curry, right? She prepares a different curry every day, but she keeps in the same vessel. So it is your vessel. S1 is equal to 0 is a vessel. Based on the curry or based on the vegetable used, you call that as a curry. If it is a tomato, you call that as a tomato curry. If it is a beans, it is called as a beans curry. Or if it is a potato, you call it as a potato curry, right? So based on the position of the point, that S1 is equal to 0 will be determined. So do not get confused why S1 is equal to 0. S1 is equal to 0 is just a notation. So as of now, what is definition of chord of contact? If P is an external point x1, y1, then if two tangents are drawn from an external point P x1, y1, then the line joining points of contact is called chord of contact. This is the definition. And what is the equation of chord of contact for the point P x1, y1 to the circle S is equal to 0? The answer is S1 is equal to 0, right? So that is the definition of chord of contact. I want you to pause the video, draw the figure so that we can move forward with the next concept. Equation of pair of tangents. Equation of pair of tangents. Just now I told you the equation of tangent. Now what if that is chord of contact? Now you might be interested. From the external point you are drawing two circles, two tangents. This is a tangent, this is a tangent. If I want to find the combined equation of this tangent, if I want to find the combined equation of this tangent, how am I going to find? So there is a formula, the equation of pair of tangents, I repeat, the equation of pair of tangents from point x1, y1, from point x1, y1 to the circle S is equal to 0 is S1 square is equal to S into S11. I repeat, the equation of pair of tangents drawn from point P x1, y1 to the circle S is equal to 0 is S1 square is equal to S into S11. So what you are going to get? You are going to get the equation of pair of tangents. Pair of tangents are nothing but what? Pair of straight lines. So definitely that will be of the form ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. So when you apply this formula to this circle, whatever answer you get will have x square quotient, y square, xy and constant term. So it will be pair of straight lines. When it is a pair of straight lines, it satisfies our premier conditions. Delta is equal to 0, h square is greater than or equal to ab, f square is greater than or equal to bc, g square is greater than or equal to ac. So all these conditions will be satisfied this pair of tangents. And how do you determine the equation of pair of tangents? When point P x1, y1 is given to you and the equation of circle S is equal to 0 given to you, S1 square is equal to S into S11. Now in the examinations he may ask you to find the equation of pair of tangents, or he may ask you to find the individual equation of tangents. So what do you do, children? You apply the formula. Once you get this pair of tangents, you split this or you factorize and you write something into something is equal to 0. Means you may get a1x plus b1y plus c1 into a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0, where this is one tangent and this is another tangent. So different methodologies are there wherein which you apply and try to get the equation of individual tangents or equation of pair of tangents. Now second thing which fascinates me is to find the angle, right? So very, very important part, how to find the angle between, and write the angle between tangents, the angle between tangents drawn from P x1 y1 to circle S is equal to 0 is theta is equal to 2 into tan inverse r by root S11. Theta is equal to 2 tan inverse r by root S11. If this is theta, if theta is angle between the pair of tangents, then how do you determine the value of theta? Theta is equal to 2 tan inverse r by root S11. What is this r? Where r is the radius of the circle, and what is under root S11? You know that notation, that is nothing but power, and that power has to be definitely positive because the point is lying inside, and if the point lies inside you will get negative value. So definitely there is no tangent, there is no answer for it. So this is called angle between pair of tangents. I repeat the definition. If theta is the angle between pair of tangents, then theta is given by the formula theta is equal to 2 tan inverse r by root S11. Am I clear to you? So I want you to draw this figure and note this concept. Meanwhile, we will go for the next concept. All right, children? Yeah. Now we are going to cover a very, very important concept in this circle, and you are bound to get one question at least in this concept called as pole and polar. Whether it is a board examination or a regular your college examination, it is a favorite for a teacher and is a favorite for the examiner as well. So please listen carefully, the concept of polar and polar. And this concept is applicable not only in circles, the same concept is applied in parabola, ellipse and hyperbola, in conic sections as well. So listen carefully. Now let me ask you, let me give you the definition of what pole is. Now before I give the definition, please try to understand. What I am going to do, I take a circle. I take a fixed point. Through this fixed point, how many chords I can draw? Infinite. So this is my fixed point, I draw a chord. From this extremity, I draw a tangent. From this extremity, I draw a tangent. These two tangents meet. I am interested in this point. Now, I will take another chord passing through the same point. Alright. At this extremity, I draw a tangent. At this extremity, I draw a tangent. When these two tangents meet, that is my point of interest. I collect this point. I take another chord. At this extremity, I draw a tangent. At this extremity, I draw a tangent. I collect this point. Like this, I collect all those points, and if I join all these things, you will be surprised to know that it will be a straight line. And you know what is that straight line called as? That straight line is called polar. Now sir, how we understood this? How you are going to define? Again I tell you, before we go to the definition of polar, try to understand. I take a fixed point, I draw a chord. From the extremities of the chord, I draw two tangents. They intersect at a point. Like that, another chord, extremity, I draw tangents, they meet at a point. I will join all those points. What I get is a line. That line is called polar. So how do I define polar? So listen to me carefully. Polar is the, when you join, what do you call that as? Locus. So how do you define the definition of polar? Polar is the locus of, polar is the locus of points of intersection of tangents drawn from extremities. Polar is the locus of points of intersection of tangents drawn from extremities of the chord, which are passing through a fixed point, So if somebody is asking you the definition, you have to write this definition. What is polar? Polar is the locus of points of intersection of tangents drawn from the extremities of the chord which are passing through a fixed point. And the fixed point, I write in brackets, the fixed point is called pole, right? So this locus, this pole is called polar, and fixed point is called pole, right? So please try to understand what the definition is, right? No doubt nobody is going to ask you the definition, but you must know what definition means about. I repeat, polar is the locus of points of intersection of tangents drawn from the extremities of the chord which are passing through a fixed point. Here the fixed point is called pole and the locus is called polar, right? Now I am interested in the formula. Now what is the formula? The equation of polar of point x1 y1 to the circle S is equal to 0 is S1 is equal to 0. Did I not tell you? Chord of contact equation S1 is equal to 0, equation of tangent S1 is equal to 0, equation of polar also S1 is equal to 0. So what is important is where the point lies. If the point is lying outside and you apply S1 is equal to 0, you get chord of contact. If the point lies on the circle, you apply S1 is equal to 0, you get the equation of tangent. If the point lies inside and apply S1 is equal to 0, what you get is the equation of polar. So this is the formula which you need to apply. Now sir, you might be wondering, when the point is given, when a pole is given to you, you are able to find the equation of polar. Now how do you find the pole when polar equation is given to you? Now, there are some standard formulae. I will write the pole of the line Lx plus My plus N is equal to 0 with respect to the circle x square, sorry, with respect to the circle, x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0 is the pole of the line lx plus my plus n is equal to 0 with respect to the circle. X square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0 is minus g plus lr square by lg plus mf minus n comma minus f plus mr square by Lg plus Mf minus n. Now it is pretty difficult, but there is no option because this is a very important question, straightforward question you get in the entrance examination. So you are expected to remember or by heart this formula. Minus G plus Lr square by Lg plus Mf minus n, comma minus F plus Mr square by Lg plus Mf minus n. What is important here is this is L, M, N, G, F, C. What is missing is R square. What is R square? Where R square is nothing but under root of G square plus F square minus C. What is G square plus F square minus C? That is called as radius. So where R is nothing but the radius and R square you find, you substitute it here, right? So this is how you will find the pole, when polar is given. Now this is a formula to find polar when pole is given. Now if the circle is a simple circle, for example, if I ask you the pole of the line Lx plus My plus N is equal to 0 to the circle x square plus y square is equal to r square. What if the circle is a simple circle? Then the formula is minus r square L by n comma minus r square m by n. So this is a straightforward formula. If the circle is a simple circle means the center is 0 comma 0. If the circle is given like this, then you need to apply this formula in order to get the pole, right? So I want you to pause the video, copy the definition, read again and again and by heart this formula, and then we will go for the new concept. Please copy down. Conjugate points and conjugate lines. Now since you have understood the concept of pole and polar, let me explain to you what conjugate lines and conjugate points is. Please try to understand how this is going to behave. If this is a point, from this point I want to find the equation of polar, obviously the polar will be outside. Now the irony is, the best part is, if the point comes forward, polar also comes forward. If the point is here, polar is here. If the point is here, polar is here. Point is here, polar is. If the point is on the circle, you know polar becomes tangent. So pole and polar, they always move in opposite direction. This is pole and this is polar. Pole and polar, they always move in opposite direction. And at the end, when the pole is on the circle, polar becomes tangent. Tangent is nothing but polar. So you have to understand that part. Alright. Now apart from that, what do you mean by conjugate points? Now in the process what happens is, the point is coming here. So polar will be here. If the point is here, the polar will pass through here. The point is here, the polar will pass through. In this process, there will be two unique points. How? Let us say this point is there. For this point, if this is the polar, let me call this point as P1, right? And for this the polar is polar of P1, and this is point P2, this is point P2, and this is the polar of P2. Now what is that you are observing? The polar of P1 passes through P2, the polar of P2 is passing through P1, right? So if 2 points are such that, you may note down the definition, if 2 points are such that the polar of one passes through other, the polar of one passes through other, then those 2 points are called as conjugate points and those 2 lines are called as conjugate lines, right? It is a very easy definition. I repeat the definition. If 2 points are such that, the polar of one passes through other, iska polar isme se aur iska polar isme se. If 2 points are such that the polar of one passes through other, then those 2 points are called as conjugate points and those 2 lines are called as what? Conjugate lines. Alright. So this is the concept for conjugate points and conjugate lines. Now it may so happen that there is a circle S is equal to 0, there is a point P x1 y1 and there is a point some Q x2 y2, and I say that these P and Q are conjugate points with respect to S is equal to 0. So what is the condition? If x1 y1 and x2 y2, I repeat the definition, if x1 y1 and x2 y2 are conjugate with respect to circle S is equal to 0, then the condition is S12 is equal to 0. You need to understand, if x1 and x2 y2 are two conjugate points with respect to the circle S is equal to 0, then the condition it will satisfy is S12 is equal to 0. Is it not our notation helping us in all the time? So you need to be perfect with the notation. The condition is S1 is equal to 0. Now so there is something else also. Instead of points, there are lines given to you. Let us say there is one line whose equation is L1x plus M1y plus N1 is equal to 0. There is another polar whose equation is L2x plus M2y plus N2 is equal to 0. And these two polars are conjugate with respect to circle x square plus y square is equal to r square. If the equation of circle is x square plus y square is equal to r square, then the condition is, I will write condition. This is what? This is a condition for 2 points. Condition for 2 points to be conjugate. Right? Now this is condition for 2 lines. Condition for 2 lines to be conjugate lines. Right? Now what is the condition? The condition is r square into L1 L2 plus M1 M2 is equal to N1 N2. Alright. So this is what? This is the condition. If 2 lines L1x plus M1y plus N1 is equal to 0 and L2x plus M2y plus N2 is equal to 0 are conjugate with respect to the circle x square plus y square is equal to r square, then the condition is r square into L1 L2 plus M1 M2 is equal to N1 N2. You need to remember, because VSAQs or entrance examination questions will be directly asked. And if the circle is not a simple circle, something other than that, okay, you have the condition for that also. The condition will be r square into L1 L2 plus M1 M2 is equal to L1G plus M1F minus N1 into L2G plus M2F minus N2. Very, very simple, but if you remember, you can make a very big question into very simple. What is this? This is the condition. If L1x plus M1y plus N1 is equal to 0 and L2x plus M2y plus N2 is equal to 0 are conjugate with respect to circle x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0, then the condition is r square into L1 L2 plus M1 M2 is equal to L1g plus M1f minus N1 into L2g plus M2f minus N2. So this is a condition when 2 lines are conjugate and this is a circle. This is a condition when 2 lines are conjugate and this is a circle. This is a condition when 2 points are conjugate with respect to the circle S is equal to 0. So I want you to pause this video and copy down this concept and by heart write at least 10 times and by heart, then you will be perfect. Meanwhile, we will go for the next concept. Inverse points. Children, earlier the questions were being asked from the concept of inverse point. Nowadays, I am not finding question in the entrance examination also, but still I feel you must know what inverse points are. That's why I am giving you this concept. Right? If P and Q are 2 points, if P and Q are 2 points on one side of a circle, if P and Q are 2 points on one side of a circle whose radius is r, and if OP into OQ, right, whose radius is R and center is O, right, and if OP into OQ is equal to R square, means OP length you find, OQ length you find, and if you find that is nothing but R square, then P and Q are called inverse points. Then P and Q are called what? Inverse points, right? So I don't find this concept these days in your +1 and +2 or in entrance examination, but somewhere it is also there in mentioned in few reference books as well. So they are called inverse points. Let me draw the figure for you for inverse points. There is a circle you have. This is a center O and this is a point P, this is a point Q, right? Now if I multiply OP distance and if I multiply OQ distance, now that is equal to R square. So these are called as what? Inverse points. Now what is important here is note always O, P and Q will be collinear, right? So if they are inverse point, this condition has to be satisfied. They are collinear. Collinear is what? Lying on a straight line. And if P is inside the circle, then Q lies outside. Q lies outside the circle and vice versa. Q lies outside the circle and vice versa. Means if P is inside, Q is outside, or if Q is inside, P is outside, right? Also apart from that, two inverse points are also conjugate points. Two inverse points are also what? Conjugate points. But two conjugate points need not be, means not always, need not be inverse points. Means how do you draw a logical diagram? If I say this is inverse point, then this is a circle of conjugate points. Means every inverse point is a conjugate point, but every conjugate point need not be a inverse point. Of course, there are some formulae also for inverse point. I just wanted to share the concept of inverse point with you. That's why I have given you this concept, children. And this is how we will try to end the part 2 of the concept oriented circles. I want you to pause the video, write the notes for that, go through again and again, and I feel that you should be able to recite all these formulas in front of the mirror. That's a very good practice. It's only then you will get the complete grip on the subject, and if your fundamental is strong in a circle, remaining conic sections can be done very easily, my dear children, right? I am sure you will do that. Thank you, take care, and bye bye.